I don't think I identified myself before, but I'm Representative Terry Hayes from Buckfield. I represent Buckfield, Paris, Hartford, and Sumner. And I'm here to testify in favor of LD 1822. Be careful, try not to repeat myself, but TANF assistance is for our most vulnerable families. The activities that are listed that would be prohibited by this particular piece of legislation increase the vulnerability of Maine families. I don't believe that TANF funds should be used to exacerbate the vulnerability of our most vulnerable, which is why I support this bill. Again, there may be components to it. I've enjoyed listening to some of the exchange so far. But in general, like Representative Stuckey, the bail thing kind of caught me off guard too, and I can't say that paying bail for a parent is necessarily a bad thing. But lotteries, gambling, liquor, and imitation liquor and tobacco products all contribute to the vulnerability of Maine's families. So for me, this was easy to say this is a line we can draw in the sand, since the purpose of the program is to support the most vulnerable. That's why I'm here today.
Thank you, Representative Hayes. Senator Lehovich has a question.
Thank you, Representative Hayes. In the time I've been here, you're one of the people I think I've learned the most from. And one of the things I always think of when I look at a bill, as you say, sometimes it's a solution for a problem. And what I often think when I see this type of bill, and actually there's some good points about it, is, but I'm not sure I know exactly what the problem is when I don't have accurate data that tells me, because I can't track or we can't track cash, you know? So I'm not sure what the problem is. And so I want to know kind of what this bill is in a way. And some of the other ones we're seeing today, frankly, I want to know how bad the problem is. I know there were, like I said, a series of newspaper articles and, you know, documented fraud, and there were other things that were not documented, and much more. So I guess, tell me what the problem is. Tell me how I know what the problem is. Tell me about the data, because I know you told me that's what I needed to do.
Thank you. What I will tell you, if people have used their card to get cash and then used the cash to do any of these activities, we would not know of it, and you did not read about it. What you've read about are people who've actually used their cards, in some instances, in establishments whose sole purpose is to promote gambling, or whose sole purpose is to sell liquor.
And they have a cash machine.
I'm sorry?
And they have a cash machine.
Well, what I'm suggesting to you is that if, in fact, the cash was used and not the card, you wouldn't know about it. So the fact that we knew the card was used there, that's how we knew. So I'm not arguing that, yes, I think that's a misappropriation. If I'm a TANF recipient and I acquire cash from my TANF benefits from my EBT card, and I use that cash to gamble, to purchase tobacco products or liquor, I think I'm doing a disservice to my family. That's not what the purpose of that money is. But the data that you've read about are people who've actually used their cards for those purposes. And what this would do is say you can't do that. Does it prevent all of it from happening? No. But it passes a straight face test for me that says at the very least, don't walk in there and present your EBT card for that purpose. And I don't have a specific solution around the cash withdrawal piece, but I think it's something we need to be sensitive to, because these activities do increase the vulnerability of Maine's families, and that should never be the purpose of a government program.
So we're going to have work session tomorrow. We're going to have work session tomorrow. If you have a question to ask the representative, ask it, and we're not going to be having debates back and forth. Are there further questions for Representative Hayes? Senator LaHost, did you have a question, or was it a debate?
Just one follow-up.
It's a question.
Would you consider, or would you agree that we need a better way to track the problem? Would you agree with some way to track data in a better way than what you currently
Well, again, I think similar to what I said on the last bill, I think that this gives you a tool or a vehicle by which you may come to a different conclusion at how to address this. But again, I support it because I don't want to increase or exacerbate the vulnerability of Maine families with public funds.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for being here today. Are there others who would speak in favor of